Hey guys, in today's video, I've got my American sister here with me. She's going to be talking about her time here in Italy, sharing her first impressions, her thoughts about food, culture, etc.
So, to be honest, my first experience was not that high. I was surprised with how salty.
Yeah.
It's strong. That was probably my favorite dish in Italy. What the world? Campsites are crazy.
Have you been struggling?
I could not sleep well.
How would you describe Italians?
Well, shame on me for owning sweats.
What did you think about driving in Italy and drivers? Was there anything you missed from home that you didn't? So now you want to move to Italy?
Yes, it would be beautiful. I love.
So tell them why.
I get motion sickness. So cars, planes, sometimes boats, roller coasters, all the things. It's only happened kind of as I've been older. So actually Italy, I've been before. This is my second time coming. We went right after I was done with high school.
Was it
Actually,
2016?
Would have been 2017.
2017, me and Tanner and my sister and then one other friend backpacked Italy for a week to 10 days. Yeah, it was kind of shorter.
Yeah, I was fine then, didn't get motion sickness, but the older I've gotten, the more sick I've got. I'm from Utah, started the airport journey in Salt Lake City, got on the plane, got off, then got back on, got to Chicago, and I was just feeling so sick. Then they tell us that our plane to go to London is not there, so I got delayed another hour. Finally got on the plane. I was just so sick. Before we started barely moving, and I threw up, and I do not throw up ever. That was my third time in my whole life that I remember. Got to London, got delayed. It was just the vibe of the whole travel day.
And when I picked her up, you were still feeling a little sick. And we had 3 hours, you guys, 3 hours in the car because she flew into Milan. And so it was just a rough start to Italy.
Yes, it was.
But thankfully, tides have turned.
Yes, yeah, no longer sick, and I haven't really experienced sickness since being here.
So that first night, we basically got to her house. She crashed, we crashed, and the next day, you had your first Italian food experience.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you guys, it wasn't in the restaurant because little Noah, our 2-year-old, was asleep in the car. So her first experience was takeout.
We had 2 types of pastas.
Yes.
It was good, but I was surprised with how salty. Marissa was saying it was like the bacon in one of the dishes, and I was like, wow, yeah, I don't like that. It's very salty. And then the other one, I know some people's ears might bleed when you hear me say this, so I'm sorry, but what I told Marissa, I was like, this sauce almost tastes like a fancy Kraft mac and cheese. Like I was like, it just, the sauce did. I didn't
my ears.
like it.
So maybe I won't put the restaurant's name after that because I don't want to call anyone out because I think the food is actually pretty good. But we ordered spaghetti carbonara and then we got cacio e pepe. Both of those are very traditional Roman foods.
And we went there because I really wanted a white sauce pasta. I really like white sauce, but I don't like, I hate bottled fettuccine Alfredo, like the Alfredo sauce.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I feel like I'm kind of picky with that also. And preference, my husband calls me out all the time. I am like the hardest critic.
Yes. That's an important note to put.
To like have a food that I'm like, oh, I love this is so rare.
Yeah.
So rare. So.
And I was kind of bummed that like her first experience wasn't like, oh yes, like I love Italian food, but like that's the honest truth. Like it was just
it's too salty.
So, and she did say bacon, which I also should clarify and say it's not actually bacon. There's another word. It's like cured a little bit differently. It's very similar to bacon. It's like what you think of bacon, but Italians, there's a couple different variations and different names. I love Italian bacon, and we actually had it at breakfast. And
I didn't eat it. I had a couple bites. I don't even think I had one full piece.
Yeah.
It's strong. It is very strong and too much for me.
So then after that, let's talk about travels a little bit. We went to Kyoja.
It was fun. I went to Venice our first time, and so I feel like it was kind of fun to compare those, and I really liked Kyoja because it just was more local and not as touristy, but you still got like the water in
the
the city.
canals, the
canals,
Venice type.
With like
town.
the bridges, and people were still taking pictures and like walking and traveling around, but I really enjoyed that it wasn't as busy, but I still got to see those fun streets and canals. So I really enjoyed it.
What did you think of just like walking around, like of the Italian architecture?
Yeah, I thought it was beautiful. Like, I think it's very Italian. Like, when I think of Italy, like, I think it really fits that mold of what I picture for Italy, or like what I remember, especially Venice. And it was really fun, like lots of people at the cafes just sitting and people watching, honestly, like single people. Like, I don't know if they're actually like their marital status, but like they were coming alone to the cafe. I think in bigger cities in the US you definitely get that, but I live in a very small town, so to see a single person at
cafe,
a bar,
super
anywhere alone would probably be a little bit more rare.
But I feel like that's really common, and you guys watching this video, put in the comments below if you agree. You feel like it's pretty normal for individuals who are just themselves in the moment to just sit down, kind of people watch. The person was not on their phone at all. They were just literally watching individuals. We went to a couple different cafes and bars. I saw someone reading a newspaper, and they're either social or they're just like taking in the environment or reading newspaper.
Yeah, when I see people alone, like in the community that I live in, a lot of times they're like working at a cafe, so they have their laptop out, and so they're But I didn't really see that here.
Yeah, kind of like the Starbucks culture. When I
Right,
think about
like
it, it's like doing like take advantage of Wi-Fi, get a drink.
Yeah.
You're kind of working and I guess relaxing a little bit. We had risotto.
Yeah. The risotto was delicious. It was, what was it? A truffle?
Truffle risotto.
Truffle risotto, which I don't think I've ever had truffle. I don't even know what that was.
Yeah, I was trying to like explain. Like people go like hunting for them in the forest. They like go digging for them.
It just sounded like a mushroom to me, kind of. Both hunt for mushrooms and then, you know, like kind of comparing.
Yeah.
And even the taste, I could kind of taste some similarities to like maybe a mushroom, which I don't love mushrooms, but I enjoyed the truffle risotto. That was probably my favorite dish in Italy. Yeah, because when our first time we came to Italy, we had a Parmesan risotto, and I loved that. And I feel like I'm just this nostalgic of like, when I go, I want a Parmesan risotto, but we couldn't find one, but we found the truffle one, and that one was still really delicious.
So with that, if any of you guys are watching and you live, I don't know, how far would I travel for this risotto? 5 hours? Just kidding.
On the way.
If you live in Italy and you have had some amazing Parmesan risotto, let me know, because we have been like on the lookout, and I have not seen it on the menus in Vicenza or the surrounding areas. I'm always keeping an eye out.
Yeah.
There's called cornetto or brioche.
That's the place?
That's what the croissants are called.
They don't call them croissants?
No. No.
What the world?
No, yeah. Okay.
Why?
Dacia's a little shocked here. Why are you shocked?
Because you don't call croissants croissants.
So our next day we started off just like exploring Pachenza, and we went to a bar, which is the cafe, but they call them bars, and we had a brioche or cornetto. Those are like the two things we've heard them called. Stuffed though, with chocolate or pistachio.
So what if it's not stuffed? It's
Still a cornetto or brioche, correct? But you thought they were called just croissants.
I thought she was like naming the cafe or something. I don't know. I didn't pay attention. I was like, a croissant.
Cornetto. Yeah.
Croissant.
Or cornetto.
Is that like an Italian word for croissant?
Yeah, cornetto I know is. Brioche
it means
is
croissant.
Too.
Funny, I'm like, in America we call it a croissant.
Yeah, still.
And even if it's a French word, it's a croissant.
And then we also got a macchiato. What did you think?
It was terrible. It was cocoa
They're
powder.
screaming right now. I'm watching this.
I don't like coffee. I have experience. Well, okay, actually, if someone was to give me a black coffee, I've never tried that. I have tried coffee with milk and sugar, and I still don't love that. This one just was very, very bitter. They put cocoa powder on the top. It was too bitter. I like dessert coffee. Like I can do like a tiramisu, or we tried an affogato.
Yeah, an affogato, yeah.
An affogato, which I enjoyed that because it's sweet, very sweet. And ours, we did a Nutella coffee one, so it was that Nutella
that was so
and gelato.
good.
And that was really good.
And if you guys haven't seen those videos of Tanner and I trying coffee for the first time, we literally drank coffee for the first time, which I think like is so crazy for a lot of you viewers here because you just grew up with it. Some of you Italians even commented on that video and said you'd been drinking it since you were like babies, like their mothers will like put a little bit in their milk. So you like get an acquired taste. Yeah, they do that.
To even think about.
Yeah,
I haven't even taken a sip of like black coffee. I've only done that, and I probably tried it within the past year.
Yeah. What did you think of Monte Berico and the view of the downtown?
Yeah, I liked it. It was pretty. I feel like I like views from like up above, but I don't know the word. Like I would rather be like exploring down in between.
Which is good if you like going down and explore because we did that. So what did you think of downtown Pachenza?
I liked it. I didn't think about how like there would be no driving zones. I just don't live in a city, so I don't experience that. But it makes sense, totally makes sense that it's kind of that local that people are just walking. But I think it was cool, creates a community and like environment of people all on feet, right? So you're like walking and socializing or stopping at the cafe. I think we did we do one more place?
Lake Garda.
Yes.
Lake
Garda was very beautiful. That was definitely my favorite place. Just mountains. I love mountains and lakes for sure. So that was really beautiful. It was super windy, which I'm assuming that's very common because there were so many windsurfers. Is that what it's called? Yeah, windsurfers. The water was cold getting in, but we just camped close by, which was really awesome. Campsites are crazy. It is like a piece of sidewalk you guys get to camp on. The area is like tiny, which blows my mind. I don't think most Americans would camp that close to somebody else. And how expensive it was. I was like, oh my gosh, that's why we go camping in America, because it's free, if not like $20 max for a spot.
So, and it wasn't exactly sidewalk. There was a sidewalk, but we were in a grassy area. So I actually think like some of the camping in Europe is like top notch because you get most of the times like a good, nice grassy area. Ours in that particular one wasn't like a grassy area, but it is small. Like I'll totally give you that. Like it's a small space. You're probably only like 1 to 2 cars that could even fit between you and the next camper van. Maybe like one other camper van could have fit between us because we had like our, what is it called? Awning. We had our awning out, and then there was like our bikes, and like there was some space even past our awning, but yeah, like 1 to maybe 2 vehicles that fit between. So it's not a lot of space. No. And for Lake Garda, I get that we're in peak season of travel now, but it was €89 a night for one night.
79 or 80.
Yeah, 79 it might have been. Which also, we were kind of lucky to get a spot because we came with no reservations and we're just kind of crossing our fingers.
Yeah.
We weren't exactly sure of like where we were going to go. But the views were incredible. And we got to do like a fun hike the next morning.
Yeah, really enjoyed that. We hiked like a whole mile off of our trail because we were just talking. And it was so beautiful. I just think I was very shocked by the camping. Because when I think of camping, it's like you practically have a whole mountain to yourself. Like you don't.
Not quite, but like.
When I go, Nate, my husband, doesn't like to camp next to people. So it's like when I camp, I don't really see anyone else.
Right, but like when we grew up camping in campsites, like there's a campground and there's, all different sites. It's just like you typically have way more space to it, but oftentimes you can still see your neighbor, like especially if you were to go to like national park or like an area that more people want to visit. Like Lake Garda is definitely a touristy area. If we think about those in Utah, they're closer, but still not as close.
But you still normally don't see your neighbor. Usually it's like trees in between. And we were parked right up next to these people. And I was like, oh man, if that was me, I would be so pissed that these people came and parked on top of me. But I'm like, this is our campsite and that's theirs. Like it just was crazy.
I feel like Europeans are just like used to that, right? Like, yeah.
That's a lot of people in a small space.
Yeah. And then while we were on our hike, I remember you talking about like how wonderful the biking trails were, and you like just pointing that out.
Yeah, I mean, anytime I go to Europe, it just feels refreshing to have that. I mean, we'll have sidewalks in America, right? But even just public transportation or walking, like, things aren't as convenient. It's very car friendly, and Europe is not very car friendly. So pros and cons, right? But also, it's like when a city's not built for cars, it's built for people. So you have great walking trails and like things to go out.
And then at our house, we get back to our house, and we have actually not turned our AC on yet. Have you been struggling?
I could not sleep well. I finally got to a hotel with some AC, and I was like, wow, I think this is the first night I didn't wake up because I woke up of being too hot.
And it's not something we really could change because there's not an AC unit in her room. There is one in Tanner and I's, however, we haven't been turning it on either because we are too scared to see our utility bill once we do. I'm sure soon it will happen. We put in like a fan for one night or like a little AC unit, but it really didn't do much.
That was, yeah, at the very end. I just plugged it in and put it literally so close to the bed so my body could have some air so I could fall back asleep because I was just awake and I couldn't fall back asleep.
You're starting to like get into the ritual of like, okay, close the shutters, keep them all, like going. What time should we open it? Is the sun down?
Yeah. That was the thing too, is I don't even know which facing way it was, but whenever the sun goes down, my windows were facing that. So I couldn't really open them until like 9 p.m. for them not to be hot. And then it's like if I go to bed at 10 or 11, like it's only had 2 hours of some breeze, and I just don't feel like it ever got time to cool down. In the mornings it was cool because the sun wasn't shining on it.
I love that you were like figuring out the like if I open up the bathroom one to this one,
I was
like
trying to get a cross breeze.
Yeah.
Tanner actually helped me out with that one.
Yeah.
He's like, you can get a really good cross breeze. And then every night I was like, I would sleep with my door open. I don't care about privacy. It was so hot.
How would you describe Italians in your little interaction with them? Like, think about when we went grocery shopping or to the stores, the makeup store, the clothing stores. Would you see them as like warm, stylish, expressive, kind, cold?
Stylish, but I think that goes for lots of Europeans. Anytime I fly into Europe, I feel very underdressed. That I'm like, well, shame on me for owning sweats. Like my 12-hour flight. I always am like,
who does that?
Yeah. Dang it. I wouldn't necessarily count them as approachable. I think once I have approached, or we've approached, like a very kind then, but I think it's kind of like, I don't know how to say it. Like, I don't feel like cold is the right word, but it's not like a warm, open, friendly. It's kind of like, if you need help, I'll help you, but like, if not, we don't need to engage with each other kind of feel. I was like smirking, I guess is the word. Like, if people walk by, I always like do a little grin. No, they don't do that. I was like, I feel stupid.
Never mind. What did you think about driving in Italy and drivers?
So fast and wild. I think Germany is like the same in the sense of like small roads, just Europe in general. So I feel like I'm not as culturally shocked on that one just because I've seen smaller roads as I've traveled more. And I understand that America's roads seem ginormous. Speed limits, I feel like, don't really exist, but there's also like I never saw police pull someone over. Like I don't feel like they're either maintained.
You don't see cops. They have a lot of cameras, and I've actually come to realize none of them are working. I don't say none of them, but a lot of them they're like little orange. Do you remember seeing like the orange things off the side of the road? Like a little kind of like a dome. Well, straight, which is like a rounded top. And their cameras, sometimes they're blue. They're kind of in place with the cops for like speeding.
Oh.
So then you'll get like a ticket sent
In the
home. Yeah, in the mail like months and months later. So maybe I don't think they work, but we're still waiting for it. Hopefully not. Was there anything you missed from home that you didn't or couldn't find here in Italy?
AC. Ice.
Ice, yeah, ice. You missed ice.
Every American's like, can we get some ice, please?
Free water at restaurants.
Yeah, free water. I do. I feel like I find myself, one, I'm very cheap, so I feel like I find myself not drinking as much because I don't want to go and buy a water at a restaurant. Like, I'll take my water bottle around, but I'll like savor it until I'm gonna be home where I have free water.
You got like a big
again.
headache and you're like, I can't. We did go to the grocery store and buy water, but it is hard at the restaurant sometimes. Wrapping it up, could you see yourself living in Italy?
Yes, because this human being lives here, so that's an easy yes, I could. I think that would make it so much easier. I think I'd still definitely have to get used to AC, ice, and then just like cities, like how it's not, like you still use your car, and especially in those smaller, like I know like countryside and like those smaller areas still are car. So I feel like there's still a lot of things I'd have to get used to, but yes, I still love the food. Gelato was still good.
You liked mango, right?
Mango was my favorite. Yes, I loved the mango one. I had a good lemon one.
So now you want to move to Italy?
Yes, it would be beautiful. It's beautiful. I love Italy.
Now we just need to convince her to move here. So do that in the comments because I want my sister to live
Venmo
here. Yeah,
that's how it'll happen.
No, that's the hardest part for us living abroad, obviously, is being away from family. So it's been really fun to like have you here and to like experience Italy with you more for like the second time. But this time, like with us living here, obviously it's been different. Yeah, that was a fun trip. And now, actually, filming this video, we are in Malta. So stay tuned for the next video because we are going to take you with us on a girls trip as we explore this beautiful country. We have been falling in love with Malta and it's just been really fun and beautiful, like I already said. Thanks so much for being here, you guys. I really appreciate your support. Show love to my sister. I always rope her into these YouTube videos. She's a great sport. And it just means a lot that you guys are here watching. If you haven't already, hit the like button and the subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next video. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.